Coming up in today's show.
All that kind of died.
He got out
then.
of the spuds though, he did.
Yeah, we were only working with another contractor, the Murshi. Oh, we can't accept that. And I said, sure, what the fuck? It's the same numbers here that's on the chassis of the tractor. And your man started getting all antsy with me then. They were on road out through the side of the block there at the start of the year.
Under pressure.
Feel the ring roller and she just blew.
Oh fuck. Was there big hours on it?
Jeez, I don't know. He's that tractor longer than I'm alive.
The clock is probably...
Clock. Someone has to be, yeah?
Yeah.
Someone has to feed the world, you know? As I say, I'm only a part-time farmer, full-time charmer. That's what you tell the women anyway. It seems to be a big thing now with all the... grants
Well,
and
if you're
stuff
in...
what was it, the glass scheme?
Yeah.
Keeping bees and all that. See if you
Yeah,
find
but I'm
that
telling
now.
you,
If they find a genetically modified plant of wheat in your field, they automatically own it or something like that.
Yeah.
Like we produce some of the best beef in the world and we need to sell it somewhere.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of cattle in this country, a lot of dairy in this country.
Yeah.
Not all superheroes wears capes. Some wear wellies.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the James Conway Experience. I have been decked out in brilliant merchandise by the wonderful Peter McCardle from Only Farms, and we're delighted to have him here in Sligo tonight. Thank you for coming from Louth, Peter.
Than's for having me, James. Thank you. Good to see you.
And I take these off for people who accuse me of being cool. I don't want that.
I'm hip.
I'm hip. Hit me hip to the groove. How was your journey up?
Wasn't too bad now.
Yeah.
Traffic wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Bit of a tip there and just coming before Carrick and Shannon.
Yes.
But roads are grand, dead on.
Yeah, Carrick is a bit of a bottleneck, anyways, to try and get
Yeah.
through, so it is.
Well, other than that, no, it was grand, didn't it? About 3.5 hours.
That's the style of it.
Yeah.
Well,
Cruised over the road.
I know you as Only Farms from
You do indeed.
TikTok. I enjoy watching you on your John Deere hauling barley and pumping slurry and the whole lot of it.
Full-time routing.
When did it start? When did you start this TikTok?
I started a TikTok, I think, reckon, maybe during COVID. I think I got a GoPro for Christmas, the previous Christmas, and just started sticking up in the cab of the tractor with me and making videos and that. And at that point, I was using my own name, McCardle Agri Productions, and videos started to get a few likes here and there and pass no remarks. But like originally, I was laughing at people on TikTok. I was like, I'm not using that shite. Like, why am I going to bother?
Yeah.
Started making videos, and then I was like, sure, I'll get a drone.
Yeah.
Got a drone, started videoing a few contractors around, a few farmers, and kind of just took off.
And would you would you ever be in contact with Morris, the Longacre?
No, I haven't been contacted with
He's
my
looking for a videographer.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, if you give me number then.
Could be the right.
Could be a new job for me.
Make up there, yeah.
Yeah, well, I do follow Morris now, and he's got very interesting. Like,
Yeah.
he's nice set up there, and
He's nice.
everything he stands for us.
Yeah, he stands for good stuff too.
Yeah,
So it does.
good countryman.
So what's it called? You're working as well.
I work as a technician in the factory. Yeah,
Good
so
man.
work shift work there, and then when I'm not there, I'm farming or videoing or whatever
so
has to be done.
constant on the go. So yeah.
Someone has to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone has to feed the world, you know. As I say, I'm only a part-time farmer, full-time charmer. That's what you tell the women anyway. But
So tell us on the farm, you do tillage.
Yeah, we're tillage and beef at home. Our farm is in Termonfeck in County Louth.
Yeah.
My father's farming at home and I'm doing a bit of part-time with him.
Yeah.
And we are growing winter barley, spring barley, and then we're finishing cattle. Buy the cattle in as stores or weanlings and finish them. Try mainly be continental breeds, like Charlies or Limousines or Smantles, but mostly Charlies because a few Limousines are a bit psycho.
Do you sell at weanling stage or do you fatten them?
No, we
on?
fatten them to kill them.
Good man.
Sell them then to the factory.
Good.
Or board be approved and all that, so we can go wherever we want.
Good stuff.
So it's not so bad.
And you're feeding your own
Feeding
grain,
our own grain. Now we buy a bit of ration out of the local merchant, but maybe only half a kilo of that per bullock, and then we're topping it up with our own barley.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So what's the point? Like if you're selling barley to them, say €230 a ton, and you're buying meal back up the road at $260 a ton, makes no sense.
Yeah.
So you're as well just to roll it yourself.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So.
And you roll your own barley and
roll ourselves. Yeah, we get a neighbour of ours there. Very good. He gives us the end of his roll, and we walk away with that.
Very
handy
good.
job. Roll 7 or 8 ton at a time and tip away.
How do you work the drying then? Do you have a grain dryer?
We don't dry it. No, we try and cut it when it's at low enough moisture. Usually burn it off at Roundup, and then we have it on air all winter. Yeah, so when we're tipping the loads in the shed, we'll put big corrugated pipes standing up straight, and we'll push the load up against it, and then we'll have a fan on each top of each of them pipes.
Very good.
Good job, yeah. And then
it's the tillage down this direction wouldn't be as you know, as common. I suppose it's down to land quality.
Land quality, yeah.
Galway now, there'll be a bit of tillage in it, all right, yeah.
I thought once you cross the Shannon, there wouldn't be as much.
No, it's a bit around Galway, and I think up Donegal direction there's...
There's a good lot of spuds growing around Donegal.
Yeah. There's around... Where is that name of it? I think it's Letterkenny or that. I think there does be a bit up there.
A few neighbours of ours used to be at the spuds, and you remember them getting the seed from Donegal, I think.
Yeah. I think that's down to... It's froshed or something. They don't. It's grown in a very specific area, Donegal. I don't think they get much
style type or something. Yeah, I wouldn't know much about it now.
Yeah,
father used to plant spuds years ago. Used to do a good lot of planting spuds. But all that kind of died.
He got out of the spuds though. He did.
Yeah, he was only working with another contractor. Your man was more so in there. He was just giving him a hand.
And you to be contracting then for other farmers in the area?
Yeah, a friend of me brothers there, McCardle, Agri, I do give them a hand. Be at slurry with them and silage and stuff like that. And then neighbours of mine, they're dairy farmers. They cut all their own silage. I do the mowing for them and whatever else.
Very
now,
good.
That neighbour, I started with him when I was only 14, 15, doing the cubicles and feeding calves and stuff like that. So kind of still floating around when he needs a hand. So it's good to be still involved, isn't it?
Yeah.
You still get a good buzz there coming the first week of May. Silage is kicking off.
It's surprising though, like, there's great lads like yourself who are working... You know, working full time, working on the farm, working for neighbours, all the rest of it. And I do often look around and you'd hear fellas, I can't get anything. And then you'll find fellas that have 7 balls up in the air at the one time.
There's plenty of work out there, like if you're willing to work. Like if I lost my job in the morning, you'd go and you'd sweep the roads if you had to, like, or build blocks. You do what you have to do. Yeah. Sure, you learn a new skill every day if you try something new.
It's nice though to hear someone with that attitude, you know.
Well, like at home there, like we'd fix everything ourselves, and most of the sheds we built them ourselves around the yard and do everything ourselves. Like,
are you doing up a little Ford at the moment?
Doing up a 1964 Fortin Super Dexter, new performance one, yeah.
Very good.
She's in the middle. I bought that tractor in September off a man in County Dublin. I just put a post up on Facebook and he says, sure, come up and have a look at it. And went up and sure, she's in bits. Back end was missing out of it. All the hydraulic lids were missing. They're all scattered around the shed. And that was grand. We did the deal. And I came home with the tractor and 2 spud boxes full of parts. Brand new parts, old parts, everything. Yeah. Brought it home and we have her going there now.
Oh, very good.
And we're going to respray her when we get a chance.
You say you'll have to sandblast her and spray her?
I'm going to sandblast her, yeah. I have my father, my uncle on my mother's side, he has the grandfather's original Ford 3000 and he wouldn't part with it. I don't really mind. I wanted to buy it, he wouldn't part with it, so that's fair enough. And I always wanted a Dexter. And then my father was telling me they used to have a brand new Dexter when he was growing up, so why not get one of them?
I had a 4610. They were rare enough.
Yeah, they'd be rare enough. Did she have the H-column box, the gear stick up?
Yeah, she was the Rubik's Cube one.
The Rubik's Cube, yeah.
But this one was the X block. Do you know, there was meant to be a flat block and an X block.
Yeah, the X block was the 10 series, yeah. We actually put an X block in that. We have a 7600. She threw a conrod out through the side of the block there at the start of the year.
Under pressure, so.
She wasn't even. He only started and he was going for a run down the field with the ring roller and she just blew.
Oh, fuck. Was there big hours on it?
Jeez, I don't know. He's that tractor longer than I'm alive.
The clock is probably...
Clock's been around that many times it stopped.
Yeah.
But that tractor'd never be sold.
Yeah.
That's my father's favourite joke.
We had a 240 like that. There was 3,700 hours on it, but it stopped moving in 97. So we didn't know how many hours it had done. It wasn't overly abused because it was a small farm, you know.
Yeah, them wee tractors, they'll go forever, like.
Yeah.
And if you've the right man on them, they'll go anywhere.
Well, that's just the comfort isn't there.
No,
that's the only difference.
Even lads who get hard to drive my John Deere, not enough comfort now. They need their Command Pro and the.
What year is your one?
1999. She came out of France. Fella, I bought it off, brought it in out of France, and parked in the shed for 2 years. And
don't be a hint of rushing or nothing on that.
Like a little bit on the steps and stuff. But only after rebuilding the gearbox and that, she threw a synchro there when we were finished up sewing.
Yes.
So we tilted the cab on her, pulled the box out, and rebuilt the box.
So you'd be a big proponent for the John Deere and the modern tractor, would you?
Oh, I'd be a Ford man.
Would you?
Yeah.
Still?
Oh, blue, yeah. Grew up at blue.
Yeah.
I'd probably go back blue now. I had a 7A10 before that John Deere. Brought her in from Holland and restored her.
What out of the New Hollands now that you'd be looking at, would you say that is a nice
Oh, I need the T7s. I need the new T7s are nice.
Yeah.
Friend of mine bought a lovely T6090 there. Beautiful tractor. Power command. But I'd still like a bit of me old school, like a TM155.
Yeah.
It'd be a great joke, yeah. range command, if you can get it.
They were-
Or they always power command, I'm not sure, but
It was mostly fellas up here that would be kind of digger work and that had them, do you
Yeah.
know? Because you did have the size for braking and, you know.
Yeah, have
God,
the
they were a
weight.
good tractor, though.
oh, just we have a TM135. My father bought it. Must be over 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
Never give a bit of trouble. Touch wood.
Yeah.
Probably blow up now.
So you'll find wood around here, no bother. This table looks very fancy,
It's a
but
lovely
underneath
fancy table, James.
is chipboard.
Rough and ready. Rough and reliable, as they say.
It's rough anyway, so it is. We were on last night with Darren. Are you still sitting on a gas bottle, are you?
Here I do indeed, yeah.
Darren is a mighty man. Down there, he put out 13 seats for an audience and decided to sit himself on a gas bottle.
Everyone else with yourself.
That's James is trying to clarify. There is fucking seats.
There's seats.
For anyone that's coming down the next time, there's plenty of seats.
I don't want the idea of getting out that I have this poor man in the corner sitting on a gas bottle just out of pure badness.
Have a bit of timber for the top of it.
Them is all, you see these old fabricy ones.
Yeah.
Do you see anything wrong with them?
No, nothing. Why?
Herself, I landed home. We have velvet seats in the, whatever the hell they're called.
Jesus, that's for hard fancy.
There was a Versace table in there with a tablecloth on it in case someone had seen that it was a Versace table. And I was rolling. Anyways, all these seats were, where were they? They were in the back kitchen. She had got new seats. And I says, what's wrong with the old seats? I didn't like the colour. And I went,
Didn't match.
yeah, you've been looking at them for 4 years, do you know what I mean? But anyways, now they match the tablecloth, which is wonderful, do you know? Someone else would buy a different tablecloth, but
I'm
she
sure
got
they're
the-
easier clean, the new ones as well.
I
are
don't
they?
think so.
No,
similar enough
Yeah,
fabric,
right.
so it is.
Once Everton matches, that's all that matters.
Yeah, in hindsight, the fabric seats with kids is they're not a good idea. No, they're
Everton was
not.
destroyed.
Yeah.
And sticky.
My mum said that when she says a farmer's house with these seats is not going to work.
No, that's, once you're in the country, there'll be boots at the door and
Tell me this,
brought into the house some more.
what is you're a young man, you're what, 28 or 29?
28,
Yeah.
nearly 29,
What's the nightlife like around Louds? Because
Not
it's
too-
gone pretty crap around here.
Not too bad. We were out for a few pints there Saturday night. Now, good love was did dry January, but
Yeah.
into town and we go into Drogheda if we was going out, but it's quite enough. Wasn't overly busy. There was a few out for the rugby. I'd say probably more out Sunday now for the rugby, but
Yeah.
I was out Saturday night and then out a few of my friends did. A lot of them are going to kind of around the Slane, Drogheda area too. There's a pub out there, Dolly Mitchell's. A lot of the boys go to that now. They seem to love it.
Do you go to Slane when the music and that is on?
Yeah, we
isn't
would
it?
go, yeah. I haven't been out a long time. I don't know when the last concert was. Last one I was at was Guns N' Roses. And it fucking lashed.
Oh, yeah. Shane and Vinny was at that. Yeah.
Because it was a real dry day the day before. We were out walking crops and got sunburned, and then it was pissing rain the next day.
Ah, fuck.
It's always the way.
The day you'd be looking for
The
the
day
good day.
you'd be looking for a good day, yeah.
Yeah.
But like our local is hard dead. No one goes into it, but your one that owns it now wouldn't be too inviting.
Oh, right.
Well, you can go crocheting down here. Right?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, we...
Well,
we
where
do-
would you going out for a pint of? You were going out.
The Flying Horse down there, we went down to it. Oh, jeez, what night was it? Be Thursday or Friday
3
night.
nights ago, anyway, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, it's more.
Was
I've been a couple of times in it this week. But all the women were crocheting in one corner and painting in another. And then we landed in and we had a game of 25 cards. And of course, 6 working men around the table after a good scatter of pints. It's not
Very
a quiet,
noisy.
it's not a quiet
No.
table. So the poor old women were a little... Well, it's their own fault for going to a pub to go making blankets. So it is.
They're a little bit flustered with it.
I don't know. I don't think they can heat the community centre anymore. I think that's what's wrong.
Around
So
the
it
pub,
is.
they know the fire be lit.
Huh?
They know the fire be lit in the pub.
Well, the fire is lit and
Yeah.
the pub is warm,
Yeah.
so I think they went, oh, we'll go up there.
That's the right
Which
job.
is, there's no sense giving us dirty looks when we're enjoying ourselves.
No,
Do you
yeah,
know?
no, that's, we went to the pub one night and they were in reading poetry and all this. And we were then having a great laugh and they were looking at us and telling us to shut up and get out and the whole lot.
We had a poet down there. We have this thing done. It's like a fairy walk for kids and that.
Yeah.
Oh, there'll be 20 or 30 Darren walking around with this fella. He was doing poems about each of the trees. But I'll tell you, I was so drunk that I thoroughly enjoyed it. Usually it wouldn't be my kind of thing.
Yeah, it wouldn't draw you in at all.
When you're kind of pissed and you hear a fella saying these
And
things.
he like, no more than myself, looks a bit like Jesus, and he was kind of walking
Yeah.
around and his tone and the whole lot. But we got into it.
Oh, I did, certainly, yeah. Because even who was it? Dahi done the bee talk or that.
That's right, yeah.
That was good old crack. Do you know? He was on about keeping bees.
Oh yeah. That seems to be a big thing now with all the grants
Well,
and
if
stuff.
you're
And what was it? The glass scheme.
Yeah.
For keeping bees and all that. See if you
Yeah,
fight
but I'll
that
tell
now.
you, if you're in tillage, I'd say it'd probably be beneficial to you.
Yeah, I think we used to keep bees years ago. There used to be by keeping bees there now, but
Yeah.
should look into it again maybe.
There's woeful money in it. Do you know if you have a good shot of them and you have all the gear to do it and that?
Oh yeah, but like the season seems to be very hit and miss. Like
Is
you know, by listening to Dahi now, he does the hives up at ours, and
Yeah.
some years he's
Loads of honey.
of it, and then if one thing goes wrong, another thing goes wrong, and swarming and
They were swarming on your chimney one day. I was down there,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
And does he sell his own honey direct, or does he do
a
it?
bit of it?
Yeah.
But like he seems to manage a good few hives and stuff. But there's a guy down in Sligo there, and he'll have hives like all over the place, and you buy it by nearly the location. So like you know, on the jar will say like you know bog, and it might say kind of what's around for the bees or whatever else. You know, so different flavors and all that kind of stuff.
fair
Down
play
to
to
the Some of them are mad into it, like you know.
Oh, dead right. Tell me this, you're a young man at Fairbairn. What's the future of Fairbairn looking like in your opinion?
Not great, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, especially the tillage side of things.
Yeah.
So we are at grain growers meeting a couple of weeks ago, like, and they're not getting recognised for what they're producing in this country.
Yeah.
And then we need about 6 million tonne of grain, I think, in this country to.
Are we
suffice.
self-sufficient in grain? No.
We only produce about 2 million, 3 million tonne, if even.
So what, 6 is needed?
6 is needed.
So 50% is being imported, is it?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's
And
bad.
the thing is, there's no rules and regulations of what's being imported. You don't know if there's no you can't no traceability of what's being imported. Like we're sowing the barley at home. We've an IGAS book, Irish Grain Assurance Scheme, and we've put in say the Longfield, putting in Molly, winter barley or spring barley, whatever it's called, and that got so many units of nitrogen on this date, so many more units of nitrogen this day. Got sprayed with Psychocell on a certain date, got sprayed with whatever else, and we don't know if any of that's coming in on the grain. Like,
well, you see, this is you know that Ukrainian grain that is coming in. Sure, there's no checks and balances at all on that.
Much of that time the grain got stuck in Ukraine, so the price shot up here. But they're always at the same crack just before the harvest to start importing grain and put the price down on us. We're lucky enough, like we'll store our own grain till the winter time and we'll sell it just around Christmas or whenever we can when the price goes up a touch.
So when
does that.
When I go to the local feed merchant, there's a good chance it's not Irish grain I'm feeding at all.
Yeah, it could be. Like we need 6 million tonne, like, and we're only producing 2.5, 3 million tonne, if even, like. Yeah, and when we were at that meeting, the boy was telling me then that Irish whiskey isn't using Irish grain. They might be using maize or hops or something from a different country, but they're using a small percentage of Irish barley to say it's Irish whiskey.
Yeah,
and now this man sold grain all over Europe for years and years, so he knows what he's talking about.
Well, there I often wondered about that because sure, malt and barley is...
The malting thing's gone nearly as well. There's a little bit of it going on up around us, but it's very hard to get the grain into malting. Like you have to be, below a certain percent of protein and above a certain percent of protein, and it has to be below a certain moisture. And there's no bother just throwing it out for feed if it doesn't meet the criteria.
But there's so much drink being made in this country, and so little malt and barley being grown.
Yeah, I don't know what the crack is like down the south.
Well, they must be importing it, I'd say.
Must be. Like Wexford used to be a big spot for it, I think, doesn't it?
That's right,
That neck of the woods, big barley country, like.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's happening. Like we should be self-sufficient in this little country. But
well, you'd think so.
I think the problem is people aren't eating seasonal anymore. 40 years ago, you had seasonal, like, and the spuds were... So when you were digging spuds, you had your spuds. Like, and during the summer, you'd only have strawberries or tomatoes or whatever else was grown. Now, everyone needs it all year round. Need their avocados and all that crap.
Yeah, well, there's no avocados being grown here.
No. But that's what I mean, like, then you're importing it and then they're on about the environment and stuff.
Don't get me started on the environment. I 100% agree with you because I don't get the concept of someone, waking up Christmas Day and putting strawberries on Weetabix and then saying, I'm for the environment. No, you're not.
No.
You're not at all. You're in total ignorance of it. So
the same people, like, they're all giving out about the environment and they're going to blame the farmers. The only reason we're blaming the farmers is because if in the grand scheme of things, the farmers are a minority.
That's right.
Right,
yeah.
and if you start affecting the flights out of this country and people affecting people going on holidays, you don't get elected again.
Yeah.
And like, but we're the minority, and Europe have us bent over a barrel because every year the single farm payment's getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
And like, if you don't do what we tell you, we'll just take the money off you,
Yeah.
or you don't get your money.
Well, I'm in a funny one here. Basically, I haven't worked. I'm not at the scale. I'm not at scale.
Yeah.
To me, this is just kind of a nice lifestyle.
Oh, the best lifestyle you can have farming. Like,
I do me a bit of work and then do the keep sheep and that. But you're not dependent on the subsidy. But
no.
Jesus, there's a sight of fellas around the country and they're up to their gills in debt, like. And if the subsidy goes, they're in serious
the
bother.
boys that are dependent on it, like.
Yeah.
And I've been in the Irish Farmers discussion group on Facebook there, and every couple of months there's always boys, did you get the payment yet? Did you get the payment yet? And then the government's holding off on payments, or it's not coming through, like.
Yeah.
But the ordinary people don't realise, say, anyone in a 9-to-5 job, if your wages got held back, you wouldn't be long uproaring about it. Like.
No, and I wasn't laughing at it, but what this later scheme was, it acres or something?
Yeah, because I don't know a whole pile about it myself.
Yeah, well, it's big up this direction because the land up here wouldn't be as good, so you kind of have to go for these schemes.
You have to do what you have to do, yeah.
But we went to the introduction night of it, and there was two lovely ladies and a gentleman with them, and they put up the slides and they showed what they wanted to see and all the rest of it, and came to the end for the questions and answer section, and I says, will you put up the slide where you have the money to pay it? And I says, well, if you can't put up that slide, I says, I won't be joining it. But anyways, they held it. There's fellas that's been held for 2 or 3 years on them.
Yeah.
And the other prick of it is, it'll all come in the one lump in the 1 year, which means that it's going to frig you up on the tax. Like.
Yeah, you'll have to pay the tax on it then, yeah? You'll have a big tax bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Not good.
But even the whole grants as well, like, there's plenty of grants out there for the dairy men and the beef men and all that, but it seems to be they're pushing dairy a big lot in this country.
Yeah.
Where there's no grants for the likes of myself to go out and buy a plough or things like that, or a grain trailer or something.
That's a good point. Someone said that in the group as well. They were on about the pig farming. There's damn all encouragement to get involved in it.
No, it's dairy. So then your child gets pushing, was a dairy calf to beef scheme then for years, like.
Yeah.
And there's nothing but shy calves going around the country. You got Frisian yokes, like.
Yeah. Well, that was my trouble with it. A couple of years ago, they were really willing to let the suckler die. They didn't pass any heed. But I've bought off dairy places calves and that, and and God bless them, but they're hard to put meat on.
Oh, you never put meat on a Holstein calf.
Well, you have to bring them to slaughter.
Yeah.
So you do.
Yeah.
You can't sell them as a slip or that.
No, you'll get nothing for them.
No, that's it. But I don't know how you can encourage people to buy them. Do you know?
No. How do you no? Unless them start fattening themselves. Like, a lot of the bigger boys, you see them like they'd have their own beef farm along with their dairy.
Yeah.
And keep their replacement heifers and maybe fatten their bulls.
Well, you see, I think it's going to go down that road because, say the subsidies gets cut again, and they are going to be cut again.
Oh, it's getting smaller and smaller every year.
Yeah. Well, if that continues to happen, sure, a small farmer is going to make nothing.
No.
They're already making nothing, a lot of them. And it'll wind up that they'll all sell to the bigger dairy fella, and then he'll wind up owning half the parish in the latter end.
That's what's happening. But then it's boys that aren't even farmers are coming in buying the land.
Yeah, the investors.
Maybe inherit a heap of money or to invest it in something, and maybe he's buying all the land around the place and she can't afford to buy it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the...
How much an acre would it be going up beside G now if it was
15,000 an acre.
15 grand.
Yeah, about that, yeah. It depends on the day and depends on the auction.
Yeah. And would that be a tillage man or dairy or that'd be going for
Mixture.
that?
Mixture. There's a couple of big tillage boys around and they'll try and buy it. But the dairy boys seem to be pushing up the price, especially on the renting ground.
Yeah.
Because they have the cheque coming every 2 weeks, they can afford to pay it, whereas the tillage man's only getting paid once a year.
Yeah.
So that's the problem there.
And then if price is bad, he's not getting paid once a year.
Price is bad, like, the price goes like, what year was the wet year? 23?
I remember that, yeah. He had a hard time that day.
We were still cutting corn in October for an Ave, we were pulling the combine around the field. My video on my TikTok there, the combine trying to go up the field and hold her spinning, and then we got buried and I had to try pull her out. and that's a dodgy job because you could just twist her,
Yeah.
and then that's everything inside, nothing will work right.
Oh, you twist the combine pulling it.
You can twist the combine. Yeah, there's no real chassis in them like a tractor or a car. You can pull the back axle out, they're just thin like. And if you twist her, all the shaking mechanism inside mightn't move right then, and you won't clean your barley right or clean your wheat right. Then
And
you're-
Johnny Insurance Man will be saying you shouldn't have pulled her.
Exactly, yeah, they don't want to know. They'll do nothing but pay, like.
That's the correct of it. Darren, you might pull up as well. There's some questions for him on the Facebook, or what is it, the WhatsApp group.
I will, of course, yeah.
And anyone else, if you want to be on this, you're on this WhatsApp group.
I'm in the
Laura.
WhatsApp group, yeah.
Good stuff. Get on the, Patreon, and just message us and tell us that you want to be part of the WhatsApp group. As well as that, on the tillage side, I want to, this organic. I'm doing the green sort at the moment.
Oh, yeah. That's a load of fun, isn't it?
It's great. It's absolutely fantastic. If my teachers are watching, I love it. Give me a point.
I guess is watching.
The one on about the organics in it. You're on about 50-50 of grain, the difference. I think it's something like 80-20 with organic grain. It's all been, the vast majority of it has been imported.
Yeah, even the organic. Yeah, there's not too many organic farmers, like.
Yeah.
Tillage farmers, anyway. So you nearly can't.
What?
Organic farm in this country with tillage, can you? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, when I see that go with stuff with the spray in the barley there to keep it right, keep weeds out.
How often do you have to spray in the year?
Definitely 2 or 3 times anyway. Definitely 2, maybe 3 times. Depends on the year. You're spraying for your. So after you sow your winter barley, you'll go out with a post-emergence herbicide. Just as the barley's after coming above the ground, you spray it, and then it won't be sprayed now for a while, probably another couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But you'll put a bit of fertiliser out in the next week or 2, nitrogen to get her going after the winter.
Yeah.
And then you'll probably spray it for weeds and disease and that, and then you might give it another spray. Then it'll be like a head spray when it's getting close to ripening, or maybe 6 or 7 weeks away from ripening. You'll put a head spray on it then as well, and for disease and all that. It all depends on the year.
Is the glyphosate still being used?
Glyphosate still being used. Yeah,
Still
we
being used.
have. What is it? Ireland has a license to use it until 2026, or the EU 2026. Who owns that? It's Monsanto, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
and I'm not. I know it's needed.
It's needed, yeah, but like you have to find other ways. Like we grow a bit of cover crop there in the winter time.
Yeah.
And usually you'd go out and burn it off with the roundup before you plough it in. But this year we got a lad in, he grazed sheep on it. Made a great job of it. The feel is like that, like top of the table.
Oh, what was it that you grew on it?
It was fodder rape.
All
Mixed
right.
Fodder rape and a few other little bits.
Yeah.
Just sowed it straight into the stubble. A great job, but it does, it stops soil erosion and helps the drainage of the soil and everything. Like, it's a great job. We noticing the difference. And then as well, you have a lot more organic matter going back into the ground.
Yeah.
And then we decided we would, instead of spraying it Roundup, put sheep on it. It's like the less glyphosate you use, the better.
Yeah.
It's like we're close to rivers then as well, and sure, we'll only get blamed for polluting the parish.
Yeah. But
know?
geez, I'm delighted you're doing that though, because that whole that glyphosate, just lethal stuff.
Yeah,
So it is.
you hear horror stories in America about it. Like,
Yeah. You know, they
yeah,
reckon-
what was the film? It's some film I watched before about DuPont, and they were poison some town, and some farmer took them to court. He was killing all his cattle. It's on Netflix. What was it, Lake Island or something lake? I can't remember the name.
Well, that area outside the Gulf of Mexico, I think it is.
It's the Gulf of America now.
Come on, Johnny. But anyways, they reckon there's a big area there where just a fish can't live.
No way. Because
There's that much stuff coming down the rivers and then out where it goes that they just can't get fish in.
Even like the way Monsanto work in the US, like, isn't if there's any GMO crops, if they find a genetically modified plant of wheat in your field, they automatically own it or something like that. The way
I
they carry on.
don't know, but I know
So I
they
heard something stories like that.
they took over the seed market.
Yeah.
And basically what they done was they made the seed that you couldn't have seed yourself, that it was really only them who could
that's
sell it to you. Which is, that's insanity when you think about it.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
just tying up the whole market. Like, it's not fair.
Yeah. Because I just see that, do you know when we grow the spuds and that back there, you can take the smaller proteins, as we do call them, and put them away, and you have seed
Use
the
them for
next
next
year.
A lot of boys in England keep their own seed.
Yeah.
And they'll clean it and dress it and stuff and grow it again.
Is that a big thing in Ireland, no?
No, not really. What we like a lot of farmers do, they'll grow seed, especially for the merchant, and he'll take it in and they'll dry it and clean it, and then they'll dress it and bag it and sell it out.
How many acres of barley then would you be putting in a...
Oh, probably only 80 or 90. We're not that
80
big.
or 90
Yeah,
acres.
yeah, we're not that big.
But you'll be doing it then along with other farmers and that they're drawing grain for them and
I
stuff
give
like
up.
that.
Any lad around the parish that needs someone
Yeah.
to drive a tractor, I'll drive it for him.
Yeah.
Or I'll bring my own tractor. There's no one around. There's no young lad around to do it.
Yeah. Why is that?
Why would you sit in the cab of a tractor all day when you can make a few
She's like,
pound
you
working
know,
somewhere else?
I'm quite
But
conscious.
I love it. Like, I often take time off my normal job to go and do it. And the mother will be like, what are you doing that? Why are you wasting your holidays to go and drive a tractor? But I'd be like, sure, it's people go and sit at a pool in Spain for a week.
Yeah.
It's my holiday. I go off and mow silage.
Have you seen the cab of his tractor? Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't seen
That's
much.
class.
No, no.
It's
Aye,
like,
we
it's
have
like
a-
a disco on wheels.
Aye,
so
we
it
have
is.
Go
fairy
ahead.
lights up around the sunroof.
Yeah.
And then when she came in, I put the windscreen into it, the opening windscreen.
Yes.
So it opens out because that's the way all the Dutch ones are done and the European ones. I wanted a real European spec tractor. I wanted something different.
And did it come in from France, did you say?
Yeah, she came from France now. She wasn't registered on it. It was a hard job trying to get her VRT'd.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had the birth cert of the tractor. It's basically just a signed by John Deere, make, model, all the VIN numbers, all that. Went to him and I had it printed out, but since it wasn't the full size of the A4 sheet, we can't accept that. And I said, sure, what the fuck? It's the same numbers here that's on the chassis of the tractor. And your man started getting all antsy with me then and everything. He took the documentation anyway and we'll give you a ring next week to see can we approve it. Heard nothing. Rang him again 2 weeks later. Rang for about 6 months straight and then they finally let me VRT the tractor.
How much was it to VRT?
€250.
Oh, that's
Bad,
not bad.
like. No. Not
I
bad.
wonder then, do you know, there should be more people bringing in plant from them countries because it's dry anyway.
Like that's the
Do you know?
7, 8, 10. All the Ford 7, 8, 10s here, all the cabs are rusted on them. The usual
Yeah.
spots, the bottom of the doors, the bottom of the windscreen.
Not there, I bet
No,
you.
them super Q cabs are notorious for rusting. My one out of Holland, not a bit of rusting.
Well, I was with my cousins when I was in Australia. Tullamore is between Dubbo and
I was out there.
Bayrock.
I drove through Dubbo, yeah.
Yeah,
We-
there was a fucking Mark II Escort. I'm not joking you. There was not a tint of rust on this. And I says, an old Australian boy, I says, if you could get that tired, I'll tell you one thing, you would make some money on it, so you would.
See, your man is a Owen Duffy or something on TikTok as the Earl Zeta. Oh, I don't know, it's a 14785 or something. I don't know the numbers, but he brought her from Australia.
Yeah?
And she's immaculate.
Cracking tractor, I
Yeah.
bet you. But you do spot the machinery over there, do you know? It's just dry.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
it's a different country. Were you in it for long or? did you
Oh,
live
no,
over there?
just a holiday, and that was all, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I did. I did a holiday. I have an uncle out there, so I went out to visit him and
Yeah.
that's a heat.
Well, do you know where Bayrock is?
Bayrock, no, it wasn't in Bayrock.
Well, Tullamore.
I went through, seen
Yeah.
the sign for Tullamore, we were going by Dubbo, into
Yeah.
Dubbo.
Yeah. Well, if you're in Dubbo and you head for Bayrock, you go through Tullamore. But he is about 75 or 76,000 acres out there.
We small farm.
Yeah, small farms, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's he tell you it himself. It's not the same as here. Do
No.
you know, one cow might need 15, 20 acres to live.
Yeah.
Do you know? And then water. He's all the time digging,
digging wells.
ponds. Yeah. And then, as he says, if you get a wet season, you hope that the pond fills, and then you might get 6 dry ones. And yeah,
We were out in a place called Louth.
yeah, there is a Louth out
Named
there.
after County Louth.
Yeah, yeah.
And I moved out there from Louth Village years ago and basically settled there. But there was a farmer there, be friends with my uncle, and he was telling us he's 40,000 acres and his cattle just run free in it, and he had a bulldozer and he used to pull over the trees so they could eat the leaves. But he was saying he's getting a grant from the government then to not knock the trees, and it was paying from the bite and feed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's unreal, like.
The tree he's on about, Willie was at the same thing. There's a big
Eucalyptus or something,
something
isn't it?
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And when I was out there, I says, what do you do for feeding them or that? And that's it. They go around with a chainsaw and just drop the tree.
Yeah.
And they ate the leaves of that, and that keeps them alive.
It's just a vast country, like, it's unreal.
Oh, it's massive, Sarge. Yeah.
But it's,
Were they on about eucalyptus growing it here for firewood or something like that? That
There was word of it, but I don't think it ever took off.
when I was in Thailand, it was a eucalyptus or something, and you pull a bit of the bark off it and use it like as a firelight, or just go up like nothing.
I don't know.
Well, they
Yeah.
reckon that if you grew an acre or two of eucalyptus, that within 10 years, just from, what do you call it, composting, is it, or whatever, that you'll keep a house, Yeah.
They wouldn't want you knowing that, being self-sufficient.
No.
I think this ash dieback has really put them off
I
new
bring it.
ideas.
But with trees.
So, yeah.
Be
Do you remember that thing? Elephant grass, was it, or that? Machanthus. Did you remember that?
Can't, is that not an American thing?
Yeah, it was a big old weedy thing, and then they'd chip it. And it
Oh,
was
that's
about-
willow.
No, I know the willow. No, it was
there's
similar.
better
Elephant
growing up
grass or something.
Elephant,
like that.
right, okay.
Yeah.
Never
But
heard of it.
Anyways, the cutting time was January or February.
Yeah.
You try cutting something in January, February around here, I'll tell you. It'll grow like fuck, all right.
Bog.
But you couldn't cut it. Was
Yeah.
well got out with forage harvest. I think they tried it and then they went, no, this is...
Yeah, they cut
Speaking
the
of doing
willow
things at
during the
certain
winter,
times,
I
that's one of the questions.
Oh, yeah, you have the
Yeah,
question.
farming by calendar dates is always a big problem. Restricted to being allowed to do certain things until a calendar turns to a new month or whatever.
Well, I'll put that to you, Peter, but I think they've hit the nail on the head there. The dates are being set in Brussels, and
Yeah.
the date in Ireland is not the same as the date
Yeah,
in Brussels, but they just
didn't
can't
the-
seem to get their head around
Didn't they
that.
bring the slurry back, I think, even more this year, wasn't it? It was the 15th of October, and
Yeah.
then it was 1st of October, I think, this year.
Yeah.
If I can remember correctly, yeah?
You're on a different...
I were different to you. Apparently we don't get as much rain. I think that's the idea, but isn't it?
how long have you to have storage for?
I think, is it, when did it start?
Do you know how many
Yeah.
weeks per cow, like?
Oh, jeez, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
We don't have any slurry storage, we're all dry stock.
Yeah.
But going with the other boys, I think, isn't it, we have to have maybe 12 weeks, is it, I think? I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up.
It's 18 up here, I think. 16
So
or
if you're
18.
going from October, November, December,
Yeah.
it's probably the middle of January then, isn't it?
The boys
band's
there
lifted.
in Cavan and Monaghan get some bad doing with that because...
From Anna as well, they're
yeah.
not even spreading yet, are they?
No.
I wouldn't say so.
But you see, I think there was so many pig farms in Cavan and Monaghan that the water courses were frigged up altogether.
Yeah.
And then they brought in all these rules for slurry storage for the dry stock farmer.
Yeah.
That's not really fair on them because
No,
they
it's
don't get as much rain as we do and they have to hold it longer, which
Yeah.
makes no sense.
But sure, the thing is, like, you surely should be able to go out in the middle of November there if it's a good dry frosty day and put a few loads of slurry out.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the band's up, and then it could be pissing rain. And,
Well, you see, this is-
and you can go out and spread it all you want.
Well, you
like,
see-
this is the problem
That's
with
my
calendar farming.
Yeah, that's my trouble with it as well, because if they left it up to the farmers themselves, no man wants going out on a pissing wet day.
No, sure, he's going to destroy his land
Yeah.
anyway. Like, they must think we're stupid. I don't know.
Well, I genuinely think they do think that
It's a man in an office telling a farmer how to run his farm.
Yeah.
What was it John F. Kennedy said? There's no problem being a farmer when your pen is a plough and you're stuck in your office.
it was Ronald Reagan, yeah.
Was it Ronald Reagan?
Your pen is a plough and
you're a million
you're
miles-
1,000 miles
miles
for a
away.
cornfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good man. This is a well-read man, everyone. But, yeah, it was Reagan, I think,
Yeah.
so it was. But it's
It's the truth, like.
It is the truth, yeah. And what was it? He done another one. He went out, I think it was to Iowa. Do you know, it was big farm country. And they had organised a meet-up at a farm. But they reckon he was a fierce witty fella. And the first thing he done when he got out of the limo was climbed up on top of a dung heap.
Yeah.
And says, I'm here to talk about democratic policies. He was a Republican, of course, and I'm standing on a pile of shite, and everyone roared laughing at this. You know, he's a fierce, intelligent fellow. So
Trump
Might have got a few votes for it anyway.
what? Did you? Reagan won. I think if you check the map, was it only one state he lost in the second election?
You know, you're asking the wrong man. there.
I seen that one time. Like he won every state bar one where I think the Democrat fellow was from.
Right.
And that was it.
Sure, Trump did something similar, didn't he? He went out and started signing a John Deere combine. Wrote
Yeah.
Trump on the side of it, like.
That's the style.
He
Did you
knew-
see him with the garbage truck?
Yeah.
That was, you see,
He
someone-
knew what he was at, like.
Ah, yeah.
And sure, then all of a sudden, he hated TikTok the last time when he was in power, fucking shining on TikTok. And now the son got him on TikTok this time, and that won the election for him.
Yeah. But did you ever read his book, Earth the Deal?
No, never read it, no.
If you read that, watching him, it's fairly easy to understand what he's at. So one of the things that he states in the book is kind of throw out wild notions and then negotiate. So let's say you want this. Well, say you want that. So then you're happy here, but you don't tell them I'm happy here. You say, I know I want everything. So they reckon this thing with Greenland, what he's going to do is, I'm going to buy it. right?
Yeah.
And he'll go on with this shit, but in actual fact, what he really wants is a negotiation of some description, maybe a military base.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what he wants. He wants a
Close to
military
Russia.
base. But instead of him saying, I want a military base, he's going to say, I'm going to buy your fucking country. And then people go, what? But they don't realise, it's kind of like when you went to the march years ago.
And you undercut. Well, if
Well,
you're selling a car or a tractor or something and throw it up for mad money.
You can always come down.
Yeah.
You can't
go
go
back
back
up
up
price.
again. So you can't. Darren, what's another question there?
Let me have a look.
This is great. I'm enjoying this group because for the likes of yourselves,
Yeah, it's good to have other groups like that,
don't
similar
forget the
interests.
names.
Oh, yes. So this is Kenny Wilkinson. Having to do silly courses to get a certificate, and the farmer would know more than the prick teaching the class.
That's for sure, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't agree at all.
Fair enough, like maybe
Yeah.
maybe the spraying and stuff like that, safe use of chemicals, that's fair enough, but like other things, just, like he likes me father, he's farming fucking 60 odd years, like he knows what he's at this stage.
Yeah, well, this is the trouble. I remember me dad on about this first when the tickets came in, you know, the digger tickets and stuff like that. And he was on the railway, worked on the railway for a good while. And there was an old guy who had to go to do a digger course, who had been on diggers 40 years. And it was the young lad was saying, and you do this and you do that. And then the old guy goes, well, you see that embankment up there? He says, just track up to the top, or will you? Why the fuck am I here listening to you then? Like, do you know?
Yeah.
And it's true, like,
That's it,
you
yeah.
know, it was
Lads-
awful hard on old fellas that they knew what they were at, and all of a sudden they had
Probably
to.
a pain.
And they know their
Farmer.
machine. And, yeah.
The old chemical one I'd agree with you on, because Jesus, you can do some damage if you don't know
Make a
what you're
bomb,
at.
like if you're mixing the wrong stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as well, it was causing cancer as well, boys, like, and they weren't wearing the mask and the proper PPE when they were. I sound like a bit of an arsehole here now, you should be wearing your PPE, but like,
No, you're not
mixing
an arsehole.
chemicals and stuff, like, it's a different story.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I used to be as wild as the buck goat one time. Like, I'd go
I don't
into...
believe that.
I'd go into the middle of
When did you stop?
I used to go into the middle of them concrete pipes and cut them with a saw.
Oh, the asbestos.
Yeah, no, well, they weren't asbestos, it'd be concrete, it'd be
Right.
silica.
Yeah, but
Oh,
they're
yeah.
dry. The dry dust, like, yeah.
I'd come out covered white and think, oh, I'm some
You're
boy.
sure it's white on the inside too, you know?
Yeah, into your lungs.
Everything that's on you is gone in there.
Yeah.
So now, no, I do.
No, I used to
Wear
work
me a few bits and pieces and say, do you know what?
Yeah, no, but I think all in all, I think what the last two questions are saying is it's all about control. You have to do this, you have to do that, you know?
It's all control. That's
Yeah.
your single farm payments control.
Yeah.
Buy an electric car, that's control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've no electricity, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
Yeah.
especially
Well,
if
that
you badly done with the storm there.
When are you
Well, we
buying
weren't
the
too
old
bad
electric
either.
tractor, huh?
Yeah, where are you going to go now with an electric tractor?
We weren't too bad here because myself and Darren is kind of, what's the word for it? Preppers?
Organised.
Oh, yeah.
Organised. Yeah.
Self-sufficient almost.
Well, we try. We're getting closer every year.
And the Jews
It's fairly hard to be self-sufficient.
It is.
I don't know, could you ever say, you know, but you have to get close to it
and
anyway.
did you use
because-
electricity or did you have generators or what?
Generator, yeah. And we were laughing. What was the name of the group? Was it Off Grid?
Yeah, Off-Grid, yeah.
Off Grid Ireland, and we're on it 5 or 6 years. And basically, every night people have been talking about, you know, you need to get ready, you need to get prepared for this. And then the storm happened, and
None
it
of them
turned out
ready.
98% of them had done nothing.
Yeah, they're all talk.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's just one of those that they like talking to each other and saying what you should be doing, but
Aye, and
in the
sounding.
heel of the hunt, the vast
like,
majority
you're-
had not done it.
And you're well capable then of looking after yourself, feeding yourself and the whole lot. You've your few sheep and your few pigs.
We're not
and-
better off.
Yeah. And you
as
grow
like-
your own vegetables and stuff, do you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you said you're growing spuds.
Yeah, yeah. And
What
we'd have
veggie you growing? Carrots, parsnips, all that sort of stuff.
carrots, parsnips, turnips, peas, beans, French beans or that. Then lettuce and onions and stuff like that. But I had a shit year this year. Well, I'll tell you the truth. I just went real down on myself. Bad old fucking episode.
The summer was shy too.
Summer was terrible. It was
You know,
bad year.
I mean, like, it was even hard to get turf out of the fucking
Down
bog
with
and
this
dry.
ground,
yeah.
Ah.
Wasn't it? Well, it was in and out this year. It wasn't great. Now it wasn't the worst.
Jeez, if we had 4 good days.
Yeah, honest to God, yeah. We
I
were
can't
bringing
really
turf
remember, to be honest.
home wet. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I
what
remember
we were
going
at.
up to the garden there one day, and I'm not joking. You know, in between the drills, the old valley like that, there was 2 inches of fucking rainwater the whole way around. And I said,
Yeah.
fuck this shit.
Yeah, I remember now a good few times you go out to mow silage or you're drawing silage into the heavens are just open. It was like,
Yeah.
like very vicious showers, like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
deluges.
deluges out of nowhere. It
Did
seems
you
to be
get
going that way.
the turf off?
There's
Eventually.
probably still a bit up there. But
Yeah.
you're like, I have stacks and stacks at home, thin
Yeah.
stacks trying to dry it out. Like,
What, you put them in clamps above, was it?
What are they in up there?
They're turned again, floated again.
Yeah. So you had to turn them twice on and foot them and refoot them.
Yeah, sure, the wind would be
Can't
knocked,
be,
and then
yeah.
the sheep around them too. And
How many times did you usually foot them?
Once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
turn them
But
on.
But like on a good
Yeah.
year, if you're in a good spot, like I mean,
You can put them straight into a
you
button
could,
on a
yeah,
good year.
yeah, or turn them and lift them. You know,
You're not meant to be cutting
Yeah.
turf anymore anyway.
Ah.
You're not meant to be cutting turf anymore.
no.
Seeing the yoke on TikTok the other night, it was no like with the cartel music.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, boy, he's fucking moving turf.
I'm
Like,
going to do that this year myself. There's all these the cartel TikToks
Yeah, like,
on
yeah.
there. And I know it's what they're doing in Colombia or that.
Yeah.
But the man had it done with the turf. It was
Yeah.
very good. It was, yeah. But isn't it crazy that you're coming to a position there where it's being normalised now that you're not meant to be at it?
That's
yeah,
it,
or anyone in urban areas nearly think, you know,
But you can't build a
nearly
house.
think it's already illegal. You know, like that's the way they're looking at it.
You
like,
can't build a house with a chimney now.
Oh, you can't.
Well,
Yeah. Or is there, can you get away of getting around that?
No, you can.
Right.
It's just that, what did your man say?
yeah, the ins and outs
Misinformation.
of it. He reckons there's a bit of misinformation in that. He reckons that you just have to compensate for it. So you might have to put maybe thicker insulation in your cavity or whatever else, you know, have
Take a
it
few
more
boxes.
airtight. Yeah, you know. But look, I'd say, like, I mean, it's still down to the planning department to say yay or nay, you know,
Sure, someone
and
will text
you know, they mightn't say it's because you're trying to get a chimney on it. You know, I don't
find some
know.
other problems with
of
it,
course
yeah.
they would. Sure, now
Could
problems
you,
aren't hard found. You
Go
know,
back to the whole control thing again. Like, if you've no chimney, you can't heat your house.
this is it.
Well, you
You've
see,
no
this
power.
is what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
A ball of people up here had that air to water. Should they were frozen.
Hmm.
They had no electric for what is it? Some of them about 15 or 16 days.
Yeah.
Still a good few with no power, is there? Or are they all back?
Most of them is
Most of them
back.
back.
Yeah, you'll probably have a few roads, maybe with 4 or 5 here and there now that might still have
Yeah, it'll
issues
be the
or
end of
whatever.
the-
You know.
End of the line.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
we were lucky enough now. We were only out of power for a couple of hours. But we nearly lost the roof of a shed. She broke the timbers. And
Yeah.
You could see the roof going up and down. Just went up and tied the rafter down to the ground.
Shaking like
Yeah.
that.
Lucky enough now.
Man down the road here, I got, I won't say a bad doing, they were out fucking poultry pins and stuff like that. They all broke apart. But lad down the road there, the canopy came off. Do you know where the apex of the Gillette shed is?
Yeah.
She went through the fucking side of his curtain cider.
Oh, jeez.
Poor
He
old
got a
dude.
bad doing.
Yeah,
What's
that's not
that?
nice. Burnley.
All right.
She flew, and then, do you know, the trailer was there with the curtain cider.
Oh, yeah.
She went through the,
Oh fuck.
yeah,
Yeah.
not nice.
No. Again though, there's worse than that happened around
Yeah,
as well.
see,
You
you
know.
You lost the roof in the one before.
I did, yeah.
What was the name of that one? Darren.
Darren. Dara is right. Yeah.
We were trying to try and crow Patrick John that.
You were
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, we were trying
Jesus,
to
you might have just missed this man here. You were up
I
there.
was on John Darren. That's right, I was.
Anyway, well, we didn't do it then. We went for a swim in the sea then instead.
Well, with me
An
and
old head.
what was it, Wolf Amos? We climbed it the morning of that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I'm really sure.
We
it was that
only went up,
morning,
we went
yeah.
up to kind of where levels off. It was too windy. So fuck that. We'll try again tomorrow.
Yeah, we went early in the morning and we got to the top, all right.
Oh, it's a good track that now. You see plenty of the countryside.
Crowpatrick is nice.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
nice there. Westport is nice.
Westport's lovely, yeah.
Did you ever go out on it?
No,
good
I was
job.
in Swindon one night in some fucking
Swinford?
yeah,
Yeah.
Swinford, not yeah, in some little it's like a nightclub pub sort of a thing for watching the tumbling paddies,
I know the
and the
one.
place was jammed.
Yeah.
Great crack.
Swinford's a good old town. My missus wouldn't be too far away from it, so she wouldn't.
No way.
Just beside Ducashel, near Charlestown or that.
We were over at the Mocker and the Farmer. That's a big thing around us now. Still, there seems to be a big thing over here as well. We met up at the Mayo crowd,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's good job.
What age group can go to Macra?
Have 17 to 35. Is the age
Is it
group,
35?
Yeah.
I'm 32, so I could be involved in it
You
again.
could still be involved in mockery, yeah?
Jeez, I wouldn't mind doing the old five-a-side soccer and kicking the shins of fellas. I'd enjoy that
They'll
thoroughly.
stop
So.
judging and all that. They do an awful lot of stuff, like, but mostly just a piss up.
It's meant to be very good fun.
Well, yeah, it's good crack. Now, I haven't been involved in it in a while now, but just busy, but yeah, it's good crack.
Well, there was the thing there, Ridori. Do you know the Pioneers? The ones that doesn't drink?
Yeah.
I won the Sligo and Connacht, and I got to the All-Ireland final of that. I'm not a pioneer, but what's it called? The rest of them were, and they just needed a fella to... It was a play, do you know?
Right.
And it was about an old woman and her son going shopping, and the son was looking for a present for his girlfriend, and the mother bought knickers and he bought gloves for the girlfriend, but the bags got mixed up and he handed the girlfriend knickers, do you know? And that was it.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
the son in or something. Yeah. But we ended up below in that university in Limerick doing this play. Jeez, I enjoyed it thoroughly, so I did. Them old groups, it's worthwhile people to get involved in.
Yeah. Like, especially lads farming not there and they mightn't see any one end of the week the other. They'll be meeting maybe once a week.
But this is a big problem now, because when I was younger, that wasn't the same problem, because you had a lot of lads in the one area that was farming and met up with you. But the truth of the matter is now, lads is emigrating, and the fella that stays at home, sure, there might be no one in his area.
No, not see no one.
Work at all, like.
So what are the boys saying? It's like Perth is like Donegal it out now. It's the Donegal of Australia.
yeah.
It's just full of lads from Donegal and Ireland, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, what's it called? I don't think that's going to change too.
I'll throw you another question if you want.
yeah.
So it's going to be a mix from Conleth, Redmond and Rory. They're both kind of having a bit of a chat here. But a lot of farmers I speak to have a deep fear that leaving the EU would be the end for them. So I'd ask, is there any way out for the farmers enticed into the entrapment by EU grants? So then the response was, them cunts are mostly blue shirts and done their best to fuck this country because of their greed. Any sane person knew our trading partners were the UK and the US, but them fuck dogs that would trap over the little man with a few acres or act the complete cunt in the mart deserve to lose all. So what's your opinion?
Was it Rory that asked the question and Conleth? You give it to them. What's your opinion on Europe?
I think we need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a good market to sell.
Yeah.
Sell the beef. Like, we produce some of the best beef in the world, and we need to sell it somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of cattle in this country, a lot of dairy in this country.
Yeah.
We don't need it all. It has to go somewhere.
Well, you see,
I suppose it's not the market, it's the EU grants itself.
Yeah, well, look, I know the EU have you by the bollocks, like, no matter what way you go. But we need them, like, where you can't operate without that money, without the grants or the subsidies. But then again, if you've no subsidies, the end consumer, the price of their food's going to go up. The people don't understand that, think, oh, farmers are getting grants, we're giving the farmers the old handouts and all this. But it's the common agricultural policy. Without the farmers producing high quality food and getting a grant to do that, the end consumer's price for their food is going to be tripled or doubled, like, at least. Like, people don't realise that. A lot of people think milk comes out of a carton and bread comes off the shelf.
Yeah.
There's too much of a disconnect between rural Ireland and the cities and the towns, and people don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
They see us driving around our big fancy tractors, oh, our grants are paying for that. But they're not.
Yeah, you're paying that. A lot of the time, the man with the big tractor is working a job and taking money from his job to pay for the tractor. They don't realise that.
Yeah,
So
I have my John Deere, like, that's fucking farming didn't pay for it. My father didn't buy it for me anyway. I asked him to buy me a tractor, and you know what answer he give me.
yeah,
But,
I
like,
know that one, so I do, yeah.
Yeah, but like, people don't see 251 John Deere or 251 case, whatever, and they think, oh, that's what our grants are going for. But I think we need the EU. If we could, but sure, this country was ruined when they got rid of the beet. That was so much employment for people in rural Ireland, and then how much employment was that given for farmers growing beet? So the EU is too much for controlling things now, and just kind of.
So I think really what you're saying is that you need the market.
You need the market, but you don't need all the red tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
Well, I think that's all. I reckon that's all going to settle itself out, to be honest. Because I think as the likes of Poland and them countries start to have more of a say, fuck me, they seem to have more common sense than an awful lot of the kind of German, French, Belgium brigade. Do you know? Like, I listened to that Polish foreign minister, and it was a very simple thing, a great analogy to make. He says, if you had a shed full of grain,
Yeah.
and he said you had the door wide open and no cat, he says, why would you get mad when the mice come in and eat the grain? So he was talking about immigration. He was basically saying, you need to close the door and you need to have a cat, do you know? And then you have some chance. Now, an odd mouse might still make his way in, but it won't be infested with them. And he just seems to have a bit of common sense. My thing with the subsidies, though, you know, people don't realise the price that food actually should be.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
They don't realise it. And I know they're talking about inflation, but the truth of the matter is that was food making its way back to where it should have been anyways. Do you know? Like, there was years there was men losing money on cattle.
Yeah,
Fattening them.
constantly, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's another whole other story then with the
Yourself
cattle
and Morris had a
cartels.
conversation like that, didn't you? You were saying, well, if you actually take it compared to, you know, doing other stuff, like, you know, so you have to get the cow, you know, rear it, you know, it's a long-term investment. You might hold on to it for a number of years.
Yeah.
Then you're selling it, you know, and you could be just unlucky that you're hitting it at a bad week or month, and it can make the difference of a profit or a loss.
The factories are at the crack then as well. If there was an influx of cattle going to the factory, they'd start selling their own cattle in.
Yeah.
And then putting the price down, like, so
Well, you
they're
see-
screwing you too.
Yeah, well, you see, that you have a situation there in this country where some of the biggest meat processors are also some of the biggest fatteners of cattle.
Yeah, yeah.
So if there's if there's a week where there's a shortage, they fill the gap and they keep the price relatively to what they want.
Yeah, they
instead of
keep it-
paying the outside farmer extra to fill it. How do you solve that, though? Because you can't ban them from... How do I say it? You can't ban anyone from buying a farm of land.
No,
if
but
you have enough money to buy
it's-
it. You know.
Everyone, you know the name, and everyone's always blaming Larry Goodman, like.
Yeah.
That's, he always gets the blame. So it's the likes of them big crowds that are at that, but you can't stop them from doing it.
No, but the other side with Goodman, and they're all blaming Goodman. But Goodman was bailed out. You know, you go back enough years, you know.
And he started with nothing. He was selling cowhides in Dundalk.
Yeah.
When he was only a teenager. That's how he started.
Well, you see, this is, how do I say it? He has the, what's it called? The license for the offal. From what I'm told, anyways, that if you have
There's
a
only
farm-
one licensee.
apparently, he buys it out. So if you're going to compete with him on price, he can say to you, well, I won't pick up your guts and she'll be closed next week anyway.
I don't think he's allowed
You
to
know.
say that, but he can set his own price. So
Oh,
he,
Anybody can do it.
Yeah,
Like,
well, and that's
He
it
cuts
too.
off you, like, if you're
You know.
slaughterhouse. Is
well,
that what it is?
if he, it's his prerogative whether to pick it up or not.
Oh, yeah.
But he's
If
the
he's
one
not
with the
happy with what you're doing.
Yeah, well, he's
Curtains.
He is the licensed, you know, to pick it up. So if he decides not, it's not like you can go to the competitor down the road because there is no competitor.
No, there's no one. But all them slaughterhouses, they're all his monopoly of them all, like.
Tis, but you see, I don't agree with the cribbing about him. What I'd be
No,
saying
no.
is, you know what Morris is doing down in Tip? So what he's doing is direct marketing to the customer.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Farm shop sort of thing.
you listen, that's your way. If you want to,
There's
if you
a
want to
few-
get
few of
around
them with
it,
that. Like, there's a couple of farm shops local to us now, and they're at that. Well, not with beef, but with veg and
Yeah.
spuds and that. And seems to be doing good.
So
like.
what's the crack? Do you think it's all a big problem that we won't have in 10 or 15 years when, like, they're going to do away with the herd, make the herd a lot smaller, and we're going to be eating different things, like our protein is going to be coming from insects and mealworms and all this kind of shite, if
No,
you're
that's
listening?
not- I don't think that'll happen.
Do you not?
No.
I think the
Like,
one.
all these vegans have all this idea, and like climate change activists all this idea beef's bad, bad, bad. Like, if you look even at
But they're all farting.
Oh,
It's
no,
the cow
but-
farts, man.
It's not even. They're not that bad. There was fucking cattle and ox and everything around millions of years ago, like. And
Oh, that's it.
Well,
Well, if you go on-
as I says to a fella one day, if I was given the choice of being locked in a shed with 2 cattle or a running car for the night, I said, I'd lie down with
leave
like
the
2
go on
cows.
with the cattle. But if RT's talking about climate change, And like say the screen behind the presenter, what's on it?
Yeah.
Cattle.
Red.
Oh, cattle.
Yeah.
Always cattle or cows. When they're talking about climate change, watch it next time you're watching
Go
the
away.
news.
Yeah.
Always cattle
no,
or
it's
something like
not
that.
too
or
often
farming.
we're watching it, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we don't watch it. I don't watch RT now.
Well, I'll tell you though, my thing in 15 years, if you want to be eating meat, I think you're going to have to be doing it all yourself.
But
probably
I
no
think
harm.
they'll be making
Probably
it.
no harm. Go back to the way we were
Yeah.
That's it.
when our parents and that were growing up.
Yeah.
Everyone had a pig and a few
hens
chickens
and a
yeah.
cow and make
and
your
if
own
you were
butter.
well stuck, the goose was always there.
The thing
You know,
is, people don't even want to watch spuds anymore, so I don't think they're going to start killing
man, they're actually buying carrots, fucking peeled and sliced.
It's unreal,
You know,
isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah.
I nearly lost my life one day when I seen sliced mushrooms in the fridge.
Yeah,
I said to her,
yeah.
I said, what is it? She goes, oh, it's great. Just throw them in the pan. And I was like, oh, sweet Jesus Christ. Have we got to that pitch? With
It's one thing, though, I actually haven't grown as mushrooms. It's actually...
Apparently, they're not too difficult.
No.
I was telling you, I want to get the mushroom man from Armagh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what is it called? Lion's Mane, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, lion's mane. That was the thing in Clarkson's farm. It's meant to be very good for you.
Yeah. Well, our little girling, and this is not a word of a lie, she had severe enough autism and non-verbal and that. And we started putting it on her porridge in the morning. And there's a few words now.
Oh, way.
Could not
Yeah.
believe it.
Jeez, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So I'll
So
tell
it
anyone
goes to
try
show
it.
natural remedies.
Yeah.
And you hear a few boys there eating the magic mushrooms, like microdosing and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We haven't tried her with that now. Maybe that's where we're going wrong.
Maybe you do that yourself first.
The 7-year-old autistic girl. Do you know what you need? Acid. That's all that's missing in your life now.
You'll be seeing all doors then. Fucking hell.
Send her on a journey with Vincent.
Oh yeah, we had. Did you? That's not. Is it out?
Is it out?
It is out.
It is
Did
out
you
this
see
week.
the
That was this
Shaman?
week, yeah.
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
Oh, you'll enjoy that now.
Was he shaming for like DMT and all that?
No,
No.
purely sober. And
Yeah.
beats his drum and he talks very quietly. And
Quietly.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
the
he
way-
has a good
you know.
voice, yeah.
But yeah, he gets it to go on. What is it? An ancestral journey.
That's what we
Right.
went on with him, yeah.
Yeah.
What was you just talk about like
Yeah,
go
basically,
back.
he's drumming.
yeah.
And sorry for anyone who's watching. I've listened to Vincent's one. It doesn't do justice to the drum because these cancel out noise.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So it's no more than Shane last night. He had a chainsaw going there, and on the microphone it actually sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
When in
yeah.
reality, you know what a chainsaw.
Yeah,
is,
sure.
you know.
Noisy like.
What else, Darren? Mr. Darren?
It's just gone off there now. Wait till I have a look. Yeah, there seems to be a bit of banter on it anyway. I'm not on it that much now at the minute, but geez, it's
be
flying
good.
it.
Must be good, yeah.
Yeah.
Then it kind of drifts off into the whole realms of right-wing conspiracy theory all the time, and I'm trying to draw them back to the farm and all the time. Come back. And if it's me drawing you back, you know you have a problem. Don't go there.
Don't go down the rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
so grass seed and mixture is best suited for your land, for your animal crop rotation. What about the only day grass? Keep moving them on each day, not taking the second bite, so that grass gets longer rest. Yeah, any thoughts on that?
Well, I'm going here with the Joel Salatin model, which means it's really strip grazing. That's what it is. But you're
Right.
moving them on constant.
How long would you leave them grazing then for?
A day.
A day and move them again.
Yeah, move them again. But I want to introduce a 21-day cycle.
I like the dairy boys do.
Aye, but I want one day to be purely medicinal. So I want to do one paddock with chicory and plantain and stuff like that. That in every 21 days, it's like going to the health spa. Do you know what I mean? You land in and it's all...
And what benefits is that for the sheep?
Well, fluke, worms, stuff like that, and then building up
organic
their...
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trying to get them not needing
A dose.
dose.
Yeah.
Yeah. They reckon the plantain is mighty for that.
Is
So
it?
they do. Now, I have a book in there, herbal remedies for all the animals on the farm.
No way.
But what your one says in it, and it is very true, the gypsy's horses years ago was the healthiest. because they were constantly eating at hedgerows.
Oh, eating stuff out of hedges.
Aye, and they were getting the herbs and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think there's a bit to it.
Well, like that's I often see like as well. It's always the older ways. It seems to be.
It comes back.
Comes back. It's always like a big wheel. It always comes round.
You have a big. I'm looking at you. You were mucking out there one day. You have a big old dry shed.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a slatted tank then?
No, all dry stuff.
All dry
No,
stuff.
We don't like putting cattle on slats. They don't.
Good man.
We don't think they thrive as well.
They don't.
No, they don't. Good bed in there.
Yeah, but of course you have straw.
We have plenty of straw. Yeah, we
I
do
must-
all the small square bales of straw.
I have your number, and I'll be remembering that because
Good.
Do you square bale or round bale?
All small square and round. So we do.
Do you do small square bales? You do.
At least they're handy move.
Oh, we do about 8,000.
Yeah.
of them. All gold.
Would you? And store? How you have a
No,
shed
all
to store them?
sold before we bale it.
Oh, you're
How
dead
much
right.
bale?
Yeah,
The man was buying them last year. I think it was €3 bale.
that's great money.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Buy from County Tyrone, Gormley Agri. He comes down. He's coming down to my father 40 years. Same man every year. He comes down and we load him. We have a bit of crack loading.
Buys them straight out of the
Then for
field.
A cup of tea, a few sandwiches, and heads up the road.
Oh, we'll go.
You're just looking for a day trip.
Ahead, yeah. Straw, if you want straw, there's no bother.
Oh no, I'll do that.
The spring barley straw will be better than the winter stuff. It's softer
Yeah.
because it's growing longer and getting a bit more weathered.
Do you know how much a bale is now?
Geez, about 550, is it?
Six.
Six. Yeah.
Or small square bale.
Yeah.
And small.
Oh,
I think these is rebaled.
Yeah.
rebale of a round bale.
Yeah.
We bought
They're small.
They should be. You should get 10 or 12.
we bought quadrant bales. That's the only bales we could get. Jesus, they're awkward enough yokes to be moving now.
Oh, they're the coffin ones.
They're
eh?
about 9, 8. We just got them onto the back of
Oh,
the
the 8x3 by
pickup.
4s.
What are they on? He's better at this shit than me.
I think the truck is 9 foot.
Yeah.
9-foot bales.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck right.
Yeah.
Oh, they're a big old balls.
Yeah.
So some of them big bales are making serious money doing a wax with at one stage. Like, was it last year? The year
I think it
before,
was 35 quid a bale. I think two of them were 70 quid or something. Could be wrong now. I'm shite with that kind of
No, but-
remembering.
I know the small ones there this year paid 6 for them.
No, that's.
Happy enough to get them. to be
Like, I think
honest.
we're one of the only people in the country doing them.
Small
square
How
straw.
are you getting them in?
How are we getting them in?
Well, do you know, you bail them, fair enough.
Yeah.
But for gathering them, have you just a good crew of men, is it? Or that?
Yeah, just myself, my father, my two brothers.
Fair
Yeah,
fuck's sake.
yeah, we'll bail all day. My father will bail all day, or one of us will bail all day, and then when the sun sets in the evening a bit, go out and just tear into it. Like, you'd stack 1,000 bales there an hour. No
Yeah.
bother.
And do you stoke them?
No, we stacked
No.
on 21, so you put 5 on their edge,
Yeah.
and then put 4 on top of that, and then put 2 this way, 2 this way, and then put another 4 on top of it again, and then put 4 widthways, and it ties it all in together. And then we have the 21 grabbing the back of the wee tractor, and we put them into a big row, and then pull the Arctic in beside it, and then put the grab on the telehandler, and lash them up. We'd load a lorry in probably an hour and a half, between loading her and tying her. And out the
You
gap.
never thought of getting your own lorry at it?
No, there's no point. Your man,
Jeez, I don't know.
we've a good.
If you had a lorry load at a mart up here and was selling them, you'd sell all
There used to be a
day.
boy from over the west. He used to buy straw off us. He used to come over with his mother. He's from Sligo. I can't remember his name. He used to always come. I remember my father saying it was always raining when he came.
He brought it with him.
Yeah, oh, it's a hateful job and it's raining.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
They're heavy too, so they're...
Yeah, when they get wet and you get wet.
Yeah.
But no, your man's coming 40 years for the
And he
straw.
buys all.
Buys them all. Yeah, if you could buy more, he would.
Yeah.
So when we started doing that, we started keeping rounds for ourselves. We bought a round baler there about 2 or 3 years ago for baling our
What type
silage.
of baler do you go for?
Welger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can't beat the welger.
Yeah.
There's latches on the back door. You can pack the bale in.
Yeah.
I stopped the tractor one day, put that much silage into it.
Yeah.
But so we round bale the headlands and we keep them for ourselves.
And she net or...
Netter, yeah. She can net and twine.
All right.
We have a netter on her.
Yeah.
But it's a hell of a job now. We'll throw round bale and we bought a straw chopper there and bale bed the shed with that.
Yeah.
But cattle thrive on straw. I wouldn't like them in slats.
I 100% agree with you. We never had a slatted tank ever.
No.
For sheep or cattle.
No.
And
Well, then it's it's kind of as well a safety thing. Fucking gases and you've children around the farm and that and a slurry tank and I just don't like it.
well, I'm watching the system. But you have great plant for cleaning the shed. Do you know?
Yeah, we've demanded 2 there and a big
Yeah.
tape on her and then an April will come in now and we spread it all in the stubble ground
Yes.
and just makes a great job. But like the worms, we'd be plastering the dung on and the worms. You won't see it, mightn't see it this year, but it'll be next year.
Yeah.
And you see the ground's lovely and loose, like when you're ploughing up. There's no slabs in it at all. You
Do you spread it the same year, or do you leave it a year to rot? Or
we'll spread it now this year. Everything we
Yeah.
cleaned out this year will get spread this year.
very good.
And then we'll plough it in.
Yeah.
And you won't see the return of maybe till next year.
Yeah.
We're at it this lot for as long as we're at it, like, but sometimes we get a bit of extra dung if we can. We import it, properly
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
And that's doing a great job.
And just a traditional muck spreader, like, is it?
Yeah, it does a normal rear discharge. Neighbour of ours, contractor, comes in and does it for us. Comes in and spreads it all in an hour or two. And I'll just plough it in. Great job.
Isn't it mighty though to hear someone, talking well about the dry shed, like? Because I'm a big believer in the dry
but, like,
shed.
it's a multi-purpose shed as well. Like, if you
That's right. You can put machinery in it when the cattle is
you
out.
could tip a load of corn if you had to, like. Well, if you have a slatted unit, you can't do a whole pile with it.
Well, that's
Very good point.
Yeah, this came up on the cert, and I said that you're paying extra for the tank. Do you know? You're doing all these, and really, you can only use it for one thing, which is for housing them in the winter.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have a dry shed, you can stick all the machinery into it then for the rest of the year when you're,
Like, I had a video on TikTok of cleaning out the shed, and boys are on me. Sure, why would you not put up a slatted unit? Like, you have to bed them every day. But I'm like, sure, bedding them, you have to spread the slurry then.
Yeah.
So you have to mix it.
Yeah.
So, like, all you have to do is bed them and clean it out, and you're done.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that people doesn't understand as well about, they say you're buying the straw, but that's like buying fertilizer. You bed the animal with it, and then you have the muck out of it. So,
Yeah.
it's not just
You're
one
not buying
use.
twice.
Yeah, you're getting
Like,
two
it
uses
wouldn't
out
make
of it.
sense for us to put up a slatted shed. We've plenty of straw and we've plenty of feed in there, like, ourselves.
Yeah.
We're almost self-sufficient in a sense.
Yeah.
So what's the point of putting up a slatted shed and selling the straw?
And you keep about 40 or 50 then, would you?
About 40, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes up and down. The numbers will kind of go down coming towards the winter. But now we'll start buying in more now in the next couple of weeks. And then we try to finish them all in grass.
Very
Get
good.
them all finished under 30 months.
30?
30, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Oh, not
but
too
we
bad.
get a bonus off the factory for under 30 months, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, great job.
And you're in that Board B area?
Yeah, and Board B inspection once a year,
Yeah. That's another bonus though on
That's
the...
another bonus, yeah. But then
Yeah.
I think with Board B, you can sell to any factory you want,
Yeah, that's
I
right.
believe, yeah. So,
But how much ahead does the Board B work out at? It's a bit extra, like.
it's only a couple of cent, isn't it? Maybe 10,
Yeah, but
15
it's
cent.
a lot of kilos, though.
It's a lot of kilos, yeah. If you're an animal there, 650, 700 kilos.
Yeah, doesn't be long
It
adding
doesn't
up.
be long adding up, like.
Yeah, it's worth your while then.
Worth
so
your
it is.
while, like, and look, it keeps everything right too, I suppose. Like,
Yeah,
I see boys there. Like, I used to work with Dairy Master,
Yes.
in parlours. Used to go into boys' yards there, and jeez, you'd wonder how they're getting away with it, like, and
Yeah.
then producing milk. And then I see us with the Board B, the hoops you're jumping through
yeah,
for storing grain and keeping a lock of beef.
yeah.
Like,
Well-
that's unreal, and milk's going straight for human consumption. Like, I know it's getting pasteurised and all that, but it's milk at the end of the day.
Well,
It's not beef, like.
my mother ate the face of one of them. The only thing he marked her down on, the medicine cabinet in the shed hadn't a lock on it,
Oh, yeah.
and she says, "But sure, the shed is locked." And your man goes, "Oh well, the medicine cabinet." She says, "But why do I need to lock the medicine cabinet? The shed is locked, And just she couldn't stand them coming.
Well,
around
if
the
that's
place
all they
after.
could find.
But that was it.
You
Like,
know,
and fairness
yeah.
to mum and dad, they keep the place fierce tidy,
Yeah.
and
No, we had a young lad out there this year now, and he's a farm himself at home, so and he'd a bit of cop on.
Yeah.
No bother with him, like. But the time during COVID when they couldn't come out, and we'd go around taking pictures and sending them, that was a fucking nightmare.
and them asking for more
Them
pictures.
asking for more, and where do you store your grain? We're like, where do you store your meal, and where are you putting this? And send us pictures of your medicine book and your all this crap, like.
So they're 80 or 90 acres, was it?
Yeah, about tillage, and then we rent another bit. Like, we rent a bit more ground. Like, we rent
Yeah.
land over here at Clotterhead, great land for finishing cattle on.
Good.
You wouldn't do anything else with it.
Yeah.
We actually call it the Rocks. It's
Yes.
fucking stony, and it's great land for finishing cattle. We finished the big cattle up there.
Yeah.
Plenty of grass, and throw them about 2 kilos of meal a day.
But you're doing a mighty bit of farming to have that much production coming off it, like. Do you know that you're fattening cattle and selling straw and the whole lot?
Yeah, like, but there's no it's kind of that's the way my father was always brought up farming. Like, a lot of boys are just focusing on one thing now. You're either tillage or your
Yeah.
dairy or your beef.
Yeah.
One compensates the other.
Yeah.
If you have a bad year with the grain, like, you can always rely on a few cattle to keep money coming in. Like, if you've cattle in the shed, you've money in the bank.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, if you're short a few pounds, you can sell a bullock.
Yeah,
You can't sell a tractor. So
No.
then you're down a tractor.
yeah.
So that's the way we look
That
at
was
it.
always Grandad's way. Well, oh yeah, no bother at all. Thank you everyone for watching the first hour, or however long it is, and we're moving now to Patreon. So thank you for being with us.
Still to come in part 2 of the show.
Ah, no, well, we've no quad now, no real need for it. I'll probably, when I get the Dexter up and running, if I'm doing any fencing, I'll bring her around with a wee link box or something.
Yeah. They must have got serious cabin fever, I'd say. Because I do often see there's an odd evening in there, and, you know, yeah, you love all of them, but jeez, there's plenty of evenings I'll hop in the van and I'll go for a drive, like, just to get out of the house.
Well, most evenings I'll be above in the shed.
Yeah.
I see a lot of boys there, like, and they're in that deep now, and they've nowhere else to go, and they don't enjoy it. Like, farming's, it's a business at the end of the day, but it's a lifestyle too.
Yeah.
And if you should sort a lot of it out. Like,
I
you sort
reckon
a lot of that nonsense out with the transgender crap and all that, like.
Yeah.
The world's gone mad with that nonsense.
Yeah.
Trees, they can't come back out of trees, can't they now?
Well, that's
No.
it.
Once you get the payment off, the government, I think, has to stay in the trees.
I think you have to
I'm not
have
sure.
3. Well, it probably depends on the ransom.